Mercy gives a functional, empirical model of consciousness. Antimatter is what awareness is made of. That's what is causing the past to morph into the future via matter/antimatter annihilation. Maxwell's demon concludes that forgetfulness must proceed before a right event. Understand that entropy is information. Increasing information increases the entropy of the surrounding environment. It's not when we acquire information that we must pay a price. It is when we attempt to forget it. Humans subconsciously know that heat is available as potential energy and where to release it. It's kind of like an autopilot system. When we forget information, it generates heat. Since we generate heat, we can be classified as machines, more specifically biomachines. Humans are a type of Maxwell's demon who is forgetting information and thus generating heat information back into the system. Charles Steinmetz famously asked, "Where does this heat go?" This heat freezes the possible into reality and creates what we collectively call the past. For humans, the past is singular tense and the future gets pluralized. Every thought has a particular quantum vibration state associated with it. Perception involves accepting new information with these associations. Thoughts are coordinate systems that point to a time in history when the perception that evoked the memory of that thought occurred. Entropy is information, thought, and information, thought, is entropy. The flow is both directions. From an engineering perspective, the replicability of scientific experiments is a critical property through which physical reality is measured, whereas for a simulation, the merely observing of an event is enough to delete or forget it, since the coordinates, the information about that event, was directly powered by the same energy which drives the observer's consciousness. In other words, observation is the deleting mechanism, not the creation mechanism. One of the rules we do subconsciously is that we must decide how many decisions our mind will be allowed to consider in the next moment before that moment is experienced, and each moment includes a hard-coded limit that determines the maximum number of decisions your mind will be allowed to consider based on entropy. Events are being summoned from a point not only distant in space but also in time. That is an improvisational thing which humans have mastered and now trained computers to do via recursive programming. People are literally teleporting their consciousness moment to moment all of the time, and we have become accustomed to the illusion of smooth motion. Remember that thinking about quantum mechanics makes perfect intuitive sense when you realize that coordinates are ingredients. When you observe a quantum event, the reason it collapses is that the only way to observe it is to take away those coordinates from the quantum event. By going into your mind, those coordinates no longer exist in the quantum event. Those coordinates are being forgotten or deleted and are disappearing into the heat, the past. Remember, there's only one electron in the whole entire universe. It's just got many coordinates inside. When you bake a pizza, you're not actually changing it from an uncooked pizza to a cooked one. What you're doing is hiding the uncooked pizza while simultaneously searching for a pizza which is cooked and then finding it. Reducing ingredients down, one does not get to discrete particles. The ingredients are not matter. The ingredients are coordinates. Imagination is our bioenergy shape-shifting into a version of reality that doesn't exist locally. Our consciousness is just shifting infinitely fast to a version of the universe that occurred a moment later. We go forward in time to a place that exists prior in time. Humans are a time machine with consciousness running in reverse time to physical reality. This is the fifth dimension. So now we have a functional model of what consciousness is. Reality doesn't care how large or small the size of the box we manage to shove our consciousness into. It is consciousness that grounds us to the version of reality we are in. Even physics cannot escape this, as physics simply becomes an imaginary model that's merely a different way of looking at the world. It is dependent on those looking at it, and this is the way it will always be. Events will be different for everyone. So how best to navigate and work in this quantum world? The current most right marker is to periodically give yourself a moment to find a sense of absolute zero expectation, and from there launch into whatever avenue invites your awareness at that moment. Paradoxically, logically rationalizing specific future events before they happen is the single most effective approach to resisting that it will occur. As humans, we have the talent for chronicling the past, not vice versa. The paradox is that while it's true that forcefully chasing after a specific desire can have the opposite effect, driving it away, that doesn't mean you're not supposed to give it a chase, if only to show you're interested. The collective unconscious loves to play and will lead you on for as long as you're willing to follow. Remember, it's also extremely shy, so if you want her to manifest, you'll have to avert your gaze, allow yourself to become preoccupied with some other demand or distraction in life, and then exactly when you're not looking, it will be there. In English, the words intent and tension share the same originating Latin element. This is fascinating as that defines direction with respect to time in terms of energy and consciousness. In addition to having zero expectations, here are two additional things that will help. First, to successfully manifest the desired outcome, begin by intending it, literally tensing up the core of your being in anticipation of it happening. This correlates to building up excitement by imagining the differences between now and then. The more potential there is to stimulate your excitement levels, the more ways it can become gravitationally attracted to your state of mind. Second, then let go. Relax your expectations. When you do that, you create space for your desires to manifest from more combinations of coordinates. It's something akin to a watch pot never boils. The unique thing about being a sentient entity is that you have the potential to become any person you want to be. You are every person that could have ever existed and ever will. They just all identify as I am when asked who they are. You are allowed to have more than one operation happening at the same time and at the same point without conflict. Let go of atomistic quantum dogmas completely. Start without bias and let the actual experimental results guide you. Find your child's mind and let it roam free as much as possible. The details will sort themselves out in the waking sums of coordinates. Do less planning, less figuring, and do more exploring and more experimenting. Make more errors. If you fail, fail spectacularly. Don't worry about mistakes. If anyone knew it, it wouldn't be unsolved. Anyone who tells you that you are wrong has no basis or foundation or opinion in this matter. Your reality is yours and yours alone. There exists no reference standard on this route. So instead, seek to align with exploring and adventure. Consider it like a fun aspect or similar to an amusement park ride. You are here. You passed the "you must be at least this spiritually tall" requirement to ride Planet Terra Tilt-A-Whirl. So now, have fun. Remember that thoughts are real things. If you trust that there will always be something even more fun and better that makes life worth living compared to anything you could possibly imagine, then it's out there, waiting for you to find it. So, follow your heart and be ready to flip at a moment's notice if something else presents itself that you think is more fun or more joy-filled. That's the formula for humans. It's sort of like a world contest waiting for you to understand the rules and play with.